สวัสดีครับ Hello everyone. Have you ever wanted to learn to read Thai, or have you ever attempted to learn to read Thai but you are somehow intimidated by how squeaky Thai characters look, or perhaps you are intimidated by the way the Thai characters are taught to foreign learners? This is a typical Thai consonant chart that you might have already been familiar with, or if it is your first time seeing it, how do you feel upon seeing it? And this is the way a typical Thai teacher might have taught you. Here are 44 consonants that you have to remember. กอไก่ขอไข่ขอขวดคอควายคอระฆังถึงฮอนคูก You must remember this by today นะโอเคนะคะ and on top of that you must memorize three classes of consonant: high class consonant, middle class consonant, and low class consonant. What? And also there are initial sound and final sound when for each consonant. Oh man, I gave up. How am I supposed to learn that within a week or a month? No way. I believe this is a common scenario that is faced by foreign learners when they are learning Thai. Indeed, the 44 consonants in this chart might have intimidated most of the foreign learners. So here in this clip, I will show you an alternative systematic way of learning how to read Thai. First, let's understand about the muscle group we engage in articulating each consonant sound. Starting from group 1, the glottal group, all the way at the back of our throat that we use in producing ko, ko, ng. And moving up to palate is what we engage in producing ch, j, j. And moving forward to group 3, the retroflex, da, ta, tha, sha. This is a typical sound in Hindi and Tamil or in Indian languages, but we don't actually have this sound in English and Thai, but the letters representing this sound still remain in Thai to reflect the spelling of the words of Pali Sanskrit origin. In Thai, these letters will be pronounced in exactly identical way we pronounce group 4, the next group, alveolar group, which is you place your tongue against your upper teeth and release it. You will produce the, s, n sound. And lastly, the group 5 bilabial group, or simply the lip sound. Close your lips tightly and release open to produce b, p, f, m. In order to understand the Thai alphabetical order, we will first take a look at the model of ancient Indian Brahmic script. This is the model that the order of Thai consonants is based upon. Other scripts of Southeast Asia like Burmese script, Khmer script, Rao script also follow this model. The 5 vargas or 5 rows each represent a respective muscle group that we went through previously, whereas each column represents different manners of articulation. By reading down each column, feel and exercise the different muscle group from back of your throat to the front of your lips. Here go. Ka, cha, ta, tha, pa. Ka, cha, ta, ta, pa. Kha, cha, tha, tha, pa. Ga, ja, da, da, ba. Kha, ja, da, da, pa, nga, nya, na, na, ma. Okay. Or we read across each row. Ka, kha, ga, ga, nga. Next group of muscle. Cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. Next group. Ta, tha, da, ra, na. Next. Ta, tha, da, da, na. Pa, pa, ba, pa, ma. Can you feel that you are reading from back of the throat towards the lips? And next we have the glide and semi-vowel group. Ya, ra, la, va. And the different S's sound. Sh, sh, sh. And la, and finally ha. Now we replace Devanagari characters with Thai characters. They fit nicely into the same arrangement, don't they? But there are some consonant sounds in Thai that don't exist in the classic Pali Sanskrit language. For instance, fricative consonants like ho, huat, zo, zo, for fun. These new sounds and symbols in red were invented by modifying the existing consonants and were then inserted into the classical model chart, making up for all the 44 consonants in the Thai language. In the Thai language, each letter was supposedly to represent distinct sound of its own. Those letters in green have no corresponding distinct sound in Thai language system. They are used mainly for writing words of Pali, Sanskrit, and Khmer origin. Well, if 44 consonants are too much for you, you may overlook those in green first if you are just started learning how to read Thai. These letters are rarely used in Thai unless you are spelling words of Sanskrit, Pali origin. In Old Thai, there used to be voice consonants. What are voice consonants? Your voice box vibrates more strongly when producing these sounds like ga, ya, za, da, ba, va. And your voice goes with lower pitch and hence the name low class consonants. Va. Over many centuries, voice consonants, for instance, ga, ja, za, da, ba, becomes devoiced, such as ga become ka, ja becomes cha, za becomes sa, and da become ta, ba become pa. And instead they are read with different tones, giving rise to tone splits and different classes of consonants. This sound shift, together with the letters representing Sanskrit sound which are not present in Thai, explains why there are multiple symbols for this one same sound. For instance, there are many letters for the same tho sound. Thai language sound system only has 8 possible endings at the end of a syllable. Therefore, various consonant endings like s, sh, j are not possible in the Thai language system, and the closest possible to this ending is the alveolar stop, and hence there are many letters that end up as being final T in Thai. And from this chart, you can clearly see which letters are ending as Vela stop, the K, silent K ending, and which are the silent T ending and which are the P ending. The stop ending doesn't differentiate between aspirate consonant or non-aspirate. It's just a silent voiceless stop. And you can also see which are the nasal ending like an, and stop ending ak, at, up. As for your, at the end of the word, it has a sound as e. And for v, at the end of the word, it has a sound w. That's semi-vowels consonants. I also believe that there are many learners who have been learning Thai for quite some time, but they are still clueless when it comes to reading signs along the road. This is because of the unfamiliar font that foreign learners are not used to seeing, besides what they see in the course book. In my video lecture series, I will be using alternate Thai fonts along with the standard one to train you to seeing the alternative Thai font. Well, in a way, some of these letters resemble English letters, don't they? Just that each of them represent different consonant sound. English letters. How do you find my consonant chart as compared to those that you are familiar with? Please give me a comment or feedback. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel to learn more.